So, Brian, talk to me about the excitement in Kigali. What's the mood like as you get ready to host this tournament?
No, I mean, I've not seen anything like this before in my sporting career. As a player, as a manager, the whole of Kigali is lit. Everything is about basketball. Everyone wants a ticket, and because of the COVID restrictions, there's limitation on the percentage at the arena. You can only have 15% of the capacity. So all the people can't get tickets. So it builds the hype even more. Being the host, having J. Cole in town, builds it even further. So it's crazy. The country has gone mad.
Okay, so let's talk to me about your inspiration to start. You're one of the founders and currently the manager of the Patriots basketball club. What inspired you to start the club, and how did it get selected to play in the Basketball Africa League?
Friends of mine always said our journey is one of tears, pain, and sweat. So, it's just a bunch of friends coming together for fitness, like you guys are doing down in DC, just to play for fun, keep in shape. But, after some time, we said, look, what else can we do for the game? Can we get into the league and maybe change a few things, go changing how the, professional the league is run, what times the games are, can we introduce Friday night lights? Can we bring prime time? Can we bring, fans to the arena? When we started, there was, no people actually watching these games. There were no drinks, there was no popcorn, there was no Coke, so it was just a game. I'd rather, making plays, friends, young people can actually come and enjoy. So it's been a tough journey. It started in 2014. And I think when this whole concept of trying to introduce the league, the NBA league out of the US started, we were just, we're champions in the local league, but they told us if we were champions the coming year, would have to represent the country. Region would be, and this is how basically we got to qualify for the games. They were obviously postponed. They should have been last year because of COVID. They pushed them today. So we're excited that we're now here. So tomorrow is D-Day.
It's been a long journey for you. I mean, I remember you coming over to DC to visit me. We went to would take you playing basketball with my friends. Yes. I remember taking you to a couple of times to the University of Maryland College Park here in my neighborhood at the court. Yes. We played with some of those young players. But, what does it mean for you to see the team grow to where it is right now, to where it represents the country on this level?
Jackson, you're right. It's been a long, long journey for us. And some of you have played a big part in this, showing us facilities and infrastructure in the US and things we could learn and see, how we could bring this back home, and for us, it's a journey of moving from an amateur club to a pro club, basically meaning that now, you have a whole structure around you. It's not just Brian and friends, taking charge of things. We have, professional players coming out of the US to join, and beef up our team. We have players picking up salaries that they would never otherwise have picked up. We have a whole structure of, CEO or COO, people who actually run the organization. So for us, or rather for me, to see this come to this stage is I don't know. It's like, how your wife gives you the first child, or it's like when you get your first job, or when you marry, those first.
This is one of those, remarkable achievements, monumental.
Those aha moments. Yes.
Let's talk about the state of basketball in the country, in Rwanda. What is the state of basketball in Rwanda, and what does it mean for the country that it gets to host this historic tournament?
I think, again, it speaks to the country. Rwanda has been ready for things like this, not just in the sporting world, but every other sphere in terms of the leadership, what do you call it, the peace, the infrastructure that they're putting in place to make sure that we are ready, transparency, raising awareness in the country that say, look, when you host something like this, you're actually, showing off your country, what else they have behind them, if it's a tourism, if it's investment opportunities. So for us, we're using this as a platform. So it's just basketball. It's going to be on the floor. We're going to sweat out there and play, but it's just basically how you use that to actually show off or showcase what Rwanda has to present. So, I think Rwanda has been ready. They built all the pillars, be it the peace, be it the cleanness, be it the the awareness of everybody
The
in
standards, basically. The
standards. They raise the standards, actually.
yeah.
Yes, you're right.
And what is the state of basketball in the country? How popular is the sport?
I think I should be, at the risk of being very arrogant because I love the game of basketball. I think we're becoming a very close number 2 to soccer, and if we keep at this pace, I think we'll overtake soccer because our soccer team has not really done so well in the past. So we hopefully, if we do well this tournament, we'll be pushing up there. But Rwanda, I think, is ready for sports. We have cycling, which is doing well. We have cricket. We have all these other sports that are actually doing well. So basketball is just one of those. But I think it's doing so well, And Patriots, we're so lucky that we've been given a platform to be at the forefront of this whole, journey.
You feel like the country is ready to become a basketball powerhouse on the continent?
I think the time is now. It's a big challenge. We're going to go against big powerhouses like Angola, like Tunisia, Egypt, and Morocco. But I think the time is now. We just have to. You only test yourself against the best, and those are the best. They're in Rwanda, and we just have 2 weeks to come to the table.
Right. I know the Basketball Africa League was supposed to happen last year, but it was postponed or canceled because of the pandemic. How hard was it for you to manage the team and prepare for this tournament during this pandemic?
Like you can imagine, Jackson, it was tough in terms of, resources were cut back, investors in the club, sponsors to the club, all those cut back because of their own issues in their houses. We had players in country because when it was postponed in March, I'd actually brought in all my imports. I'd already brought in my coaches. We were housing them, we were feeding them, we're getting them ready for the championship. I'd signed contracts with all the 12 players and the coaches. So, breaking those contracts, ensuring that everybody is happy, keeping them, ready for, what is actually after 12 months, that we're going to play after 12 months, was a challenge. But, keeping everybody interested in the game, I think that was a critical point. It's not to give up because you could have easily given up. I could have walked away, they could have walked away. But I think we kept the hope, the dream and said, look, guys, whenever this opens up, I think we'll be there. So I think our biggest challenge was, yes, resources, but I think keeping the love of the game, at its best.
Keeping it going.
Keep it going. And I think we did well. And there's a couple of guys behind me, behind the organization that played a critical role to keep us here. And I think, we were here tomorrow again, like I say, it's day. So it's going to be worth the wait. So let's see how we play out.
We are very excited. And I know, Brian, you're a very busy man right now. These are very critical hours for you. So I won't keep you long, but I'm hoping that we'll catch up with you at some point later on during the week. But before you go, I want to ask you, your team just signed to its roster one of the most famous artists in the world. That's rapper J. Cole. How did that happen? And what does J. Cole bring to the team?
Oh, I think first of all, J. Cole is just a baller, and I want to speak to the man as just a basketballer. It helps that he has a career outside of basketball. It does, bring us a little bit of attention. But I think for me, what was most important when I was negotiating his engagement with us was more about the love for the game and the ability for him to come to the continent and play for Rwanda, play for Patriots, don my jersey. I think that's, for me, speaks to the world to say, you know what, we are ready to attract the best of the best. We are ready to attract the top talent. And Rwanda is the destination, come through, come and test your abilities. We are willing to give everybody an opportunity. So for us, J. Cole, Patriots is a marriage, if you will, made in heaven. And I hope it does work, I really hope it does work. And I think it will.
Really proud of you, Brian. And I want to tell you that I'm about to go start playing basketball with my friends. We are going to be streaming J. Cole's album. We have a big speaker when we are playing. So, shout out to you and your teammates.
Thank you.
You guys will be watching on you. And, big up, my brother.
Appreciate you, Jackson. Thank you so much.
All right,
anytime you want to talk to me through your tournament, I'll be ready. Thank you.
Absolutely. Will do. All right. Cheers.
Okay.
All right.
Pleasure. Good.